Um, but I have a question to ask you. Okay, what does YES spell?
YES. Yes.
Yeah. Okay,
Yes.
what does EYES spell?
EYES. Yes.
Ah,
Yes.
got him! Got him! I. I saw that on the gram. Anyway, welcome to the Sports Savage. I'm your host, Garrett Savage from Los Angeles, California. No longer on fire as of yet. Joined by smooth talking and cigar smoking Sammie Dawkins from Orlando, Florida. What's up?
Sports World. What's happening?
Look at that. I like this. What kind of cigar is that?
This is a Romeo, a Julia, I would imagine. Uh, I'm not gonna go too deep into it because I don't know much. This is what happens when your team beats an undefeated team on prime time with a quarterback who was never gonna win. Because he's only in his second fucking year, and nobody beats a second year or no second year quarterback beats a Belichick defense. So you puff a cigar when Action Jackson shows up.
Yeah, that's true. We'll get into that. We're going to first start with Thursday night football. Raiders, Chargers. Raiders pulled it out. Raiders is an easy team to root for. They got John Gruden. They had the whole AB mess. Jacobs looking like a steal, even though they got him in the first round, but he's making plays. Phillip Rivers kind of looks like, how many more years are we going to give Rivers? Bosa really wasn't an issue at all on the defensive line. Chargers O-line was just trash. Did you watch any of that game, Sammy?
Yeah, I saw a few snaps. Good win for Gruden. If you're the Raiders, I'm hearing this is going to be one of, if not the last night game in Oakland. So way to go out with a bang to give the fans something to cheer about before you snatch their Raiders up and move them to Las Vegas. But yeah, this is like the story of Phillip Rivers' career. In the big moments, kind of Kirk Cousins ish, but maybe doesn't get the same flack because he's a likable guy. But when it comes to the big moment, he falls short. And you're a Chargers team with a Melvin Gordon who should be in prime condition as far as not having the wear and tear of the season. And you have those bookend defensive ends with Bosa and Ingram. You're supposed to go into Oakland and get a win to turn your season around. And instead, it looked like you were just kind of a roadmap on the Gruden show out there.
Dude, look at I was thinking about this, and I was thinking, well, neither team's a playoff contender. And then I looked at Oakland's schedule. All right, I'm going to ask you, you say win or lose. First Bengals.
Win.
At Jets.
Win.
At Chiefs.
That's a loss.
First Titans.
That's a push. I may go in the Titans. I don't have Oakland in the playoffs either, but that'll probably be, if they win that game, that'll tell you something. But I say Titans.
You say Titans?
I feel like that's a trap game. The Titans are always going to win the games they're not supposed to and lose the games when everybody likes them. That's what I'm getting from the Titans this year. I'm not a fan of Tannehill, but for some reason he's moving the ball better than Mariota, so that's fucking strange.
All right, at Jags. We don't know what Nick Foles is going to be. Well, since he's
yeah,
back.
But he was clicking when he got hurt. They kept showing the replay of that injury where he fucked up his shoulder, and it was a dime pass for a touchdown. So we were able to see what our boy Gardner was able to do. I'm expecting Nick Foles to kind of step in and get things rolling in Jacksonville.
So they go to the Jags, Oakland or Jags. Who you got?
I said Jags.
At Chargers.
That's another one. The Charger season's over.
At Broncos.
That's a win.
So that's 4 more wins. That's a 9-6 team. Like, that could be playoff bound. And I think they might even get one more than that. But I don't know. I like to watch Oakland play. They're Derek Carr. Like, I don't know. I can't put my finger on the guy. Like, he wears eyeliner. He talks like he's like from the South, even though he's from California. But I don't know. I guess he's kind of like a stretched out Drew Brees, only he doesn't have as much playing ability. But yeah, Chargers, they're done. if you're the Chargers, do you go to tank mode? Do you look for a new quarterback? I mean, what's the Chargers' next move to get back into the big time?
I mean, you're in win now mode as long as Phillip Rivers is your quarterback. So you can't just come out and tank. I don't really think you can Eli Phillip Rivers just because of how solid he's been for the organization. Maybe not so much in the win column, but just as far as being a franchise quarterback, you can't really ask for more than what Phillip Rivers did. So it'll kind of look bad if you just all of a sudden say, hey, in your swan song season, we're going to try to lose a lot of games to get your replacement. So you're kind of in that middle ground where you're not trying to tank or lose games for high draft picks because you got a lot of guys who are in win now mode. You just don't have the talent. That Derwin James injury to the secondary is looking pretty crucial right now because they just can't stop anybody defensively.
John Cena was at halftime, and he's promoting this movie about being a fireman. And they totally used the Los Angeles fires to bring it up. They're like, yeah, I'm like, what great timing. If you're John Cena, this is going to be his, like, the playbook, like The Rock did, just to kind of get some movies under his belt. Do you like him with hair, John Cena? It's kind of weird.
Yeah, nah. I mean, and it's weird because the movie's like a comedy, so it's like, hey, this serious natural disaster, but check out this comedy about firefighters. Like, yeah, it was a terrible transition. Fox, they should be fucking ashamed of themselves for a lot of things, but that included. I don't like John Cena out the ring. I'm just gonna be honest. Hot take alert. He's not the fucking Rock. He's not as charismatic. His movies, even though the Rock movies were kind of cheesy in the beginning, he turned himself into a star. I don't see that with Cena. All of his movies are pretty much the good old boy who does a little action flick. Is really fucking weird. You can't see him in the ring, but yeah, I don't know about this guy with the hair plants.
You gotta get your start somewhere. So we'll circle the wagon. Your Ravens took apart. Say, well, they saw this coming. The Patriots haven't been tested. Yada yada yada. Still, how sweet was that win?
Oh man, big win as far as for the confidence of a growing quarterback in Lamar Jackson, as well as our defense. Earl Thomas is looking like all of our all-season signings were pretty much not under the radar, but not really splashes, except for the Earl Thomas. And it caught me off guard because he's in the twilight of his career. But man, did he show how vital he could be with a defense with absolutely no pass rush, but still was able to turn over the New England Patriots on multiple situations. So it was a good all-around team win. I'm hearing a lot of rumblings of, oh, well, they'll win next go round, or they're still saying the Patriots are better than the Ravens. And I mean, the New England Patriots have definitely developed some kind of clout with that Brady Belichick machine. But with that being said, the Ravens over time have proven that we're not afraid of the Patriots. We always play them tough, and now that we have a capable quarterback, I feel like the sky's the limit. Shout out to Hollywood Brown, too, who's not 100%. One of the first receivers we've picked, especially in the first round, to work out. He's looking like a stud. And with that young core of him, Lamar, and Mark Ingram, I feel like we're one of the best teams in the NFL, let alone the AFC.
I mean, you got to say they're probably a top 3 physical team as far as, pushing the ball downfield. My Vikes, man, I don't know what to do anymore, Sammie. They didn't have Patrick Mahomes. They had all these other injuries, and they still win, man. Like, Kirk Cousins, he didn't look terrible, but he wasn't great. I thought the play calling was bad. I mean, that was a must win for confidence. Now we're still going to be at this will they, won't they. I just don't have any faith. Like, I don't know what to do anymore.
Yeah, you guys look like a great team until you lose to a backup quarterback. With the defense that is supposed to be towards the tops of the league, you would argue top 10 with the rushing champion and a quarterback like Kirk Cousins. You're supposed to win that game. So it's definitely deflating. You kind of got to get on a hot streak. Thielen is definitely proving his worth not being on the field, but that's the luxury of having a Stephon Diggs. So having a Diggs-Cook Cousins combo, you're not supposed to lose game to backup quarterbacks, and to be honest, a suspect Chiefs defense.
Play the Cowboys.
The boys.
Sunday Night Football for the world to see. So this is it. It's for Kirk Cousins. Like, you can either prove everybody right or prove everybody wrong. You got to win that game. College football playoff. I was a little shocked when I saw it. Ohio State 1, LSU 2, Alabama 3, Penn State 4. Next, sorry. Next team are Clemson and Georgia. My boy Colin Cowherd, I gotta say he got this one right. I mean, they pretty much. I mean, everybody knows Clemson's gonna get in because Ohio State is gonna play Penn State. LSU is gonna play Alabama eventually, and this weekend especially. So whoever loses that is probably gonna get the jump up. Penn State plays Minnesota this weekend. Minnesota's undefeated. Should handle Minnesota. I mean, it really doesn't matter because we still have so many games left to play and it's something to talk about. But I do think it's interesting how they have 2 Big Ten teams, 2 SEC teams.
Yeah, if by interesting you mean collusion, then yeah. I'm not a big fan of these playoff rankings. It's really unnecessary when we're only about halfway through the season and they already have rankings. I was kind of thinking when they did the college playoff rankings that they would get rid of all other rankings and then they would just drop their rankings. But with the rankings that come out by the Associated Press, it's pretty much useless to kind of have, I guess, a middle ground or hey, we're halfway through, so this is what we think so far. Well, like you said, everybody's still going to play everybody. If you're Penn State, you got to love the clout that you're getting as far as getting in the top 4 with this first ranking. So it allows you that wiggle room that if you do play Ohio State in a close loss, you're not completely out of it unless you're not able to get to that Big Ten championship game. If you're LSU, you handle your business, you're in. If you're Alabama, you handle your business, you're in. Georgia's pretty interesting. I don't know if they have the talent to really win a championship, but they can definitely spoil things by just making it to the SEC championship game and somehow becoming victorious. If you're the Pac-12, you don't really deserve it, but you're always getting screwed. If you're Oregon, you may have a chance as long as you went out and you're a Pac-12 champion. But I really love the interesting dilemma of if you have a Pac-12 champion and a 2-loss SEC team, who do you put in? Because history shows the playoff committee can't get the SEC's dick out their mouth. So if I'm betting, man, I'm definitely going with that SEC team if they're named Alabama and their 2 losses out of LSU and a close loss in the SEC championship game possible.
Yeah, I mean, I can speak from experience out here. College football isn't a big deal in California. It's a huge deal in the South. It's a religion in the South. Who's gonna be more willing to watch it? You know, a team from the South or teams over here. I mean, Oregon, they might be deserving of it. They should have beat Auburn, and they'd be right in that conversation, but they didn't. They blew it to your boy Bo Nix. I was trying to think of a nickname for him with Dix, but I can't. It just came together at the time. So speaking of the heavyweights, LSU, Alabama, this weekend, I'm pumped. Haven't seen a good LSU Alabama. I mean, the last time they build it up, the best game of all time, it was 9-3. It was such a snooze. I don't think that's going to be the case here. Tua, he's going to play. He's not 100%. They're calling him Joe Big Dick Burrow now. Who you got, Sammie?
First off, I got to say you hit the nail on the head with the ratings. All of that shit is about ratings. They're going to put the teams who are going to have the bigger draw television-wise in the playoff. So that's an amazing point. If I'm a betting man, I'm gonna go with LSU. They're due. They say don't bet against Nick in Tuscaloosa, but they're forgetting one major key. When he has a defense, I don't think this defense is anything like the Alabama defenses of old. I love Tua. I definitely feel like the winner of this game may be the number 1 quarterback drafted in the NFL draft. But with that being said, it's going to be a shootout, and Tua's not healthy. So if I'm a betting man, I'm going with the Tigers to finally get their just due and win a big game against Nick Saban, and it's going to be off the arm of Bora.
LSU will be without one of their linebackers due to personal reasons. I immediately, as soon as I saw that, could just see a U up text from Nick Saban to this player. How many zeros to sit this game out? How many is it going to take? 2, 3, 4? I mean, let's say you're a hot shot college football player, Sammie. The opposing coach gets somebody to get in contact with you, and they're like, how much will it cost you to have personal issues? And he may have personal issues. But I'm just saying in this situation, How much would what would the cost be? The big ticket.
Oh, I'm probably looking north of $10,000 if I'm talking about Alabama and Nick Saban. I'm gonna need something that's gonna pay off, mama's mortgage or rent or something, and also put a little money in my pocket, especially for a big game like this. If I'm a draft prospect, I'm losing tape, so I'm gonna need a nice payday from the Saban man. But he definitely has it. This is a big game for Nick Saban. He's losing some of that allure with Dabo on his heels with a talented Clemson offense, not so much defense. But if he allows Ed Orgeron and those Tigers to come through Tuscaloosa and put a whooping up on them, or even sneak out of there with a W, he's not the boogeyman anymore. I'm going to say it here first. Now, if he comes in and he handles business and they beat the Tigers and they beat them handsomely, that he still has a little bit of that juice on him. But this could be the end of the boogeyman and the Crimson Tide if LSU can go in there and beat them handily.
I don't know if it would be the end of the boogeyman, but it would definitely be a passing of the torch, like especially for Ed O. I mean, everybody loves Ed O. He's a fan favorite. He bleeds LSU. He's a Cajun guy. I really want LSU to win just because I'm tired of seeing Alabama win all the time. And it'd be nice, and LSU, they always got, a good cast of characters. Like, who people on LSU are. But for Alabama, it's just a bunch of no-names who just do their job, besides Tua, and get what they've done. But, I mean, Alabama's got just a sick wide receiving core. I mean, all of them could probably go pro. I think Joe Burrow, just from what I've seen this season, seems like the better quarterback, but I don't know. I don't know if Tua's been healthy the whole season. One more college football question for you. My boy, Willie T, is out. Florida State said enough was enough. They kicked him to the curb. Odell Haggins is his second time being like the coach, that they put up. If Florida State can't find a good coach, is this their swan song?
Yeah, if you're Florida State, where do you go from here? If you're asking me, I feel like you maybe got rid of Taggart a little early before he was able to really prove what he could bring to Florida State. And it was a bit of a panic move because a lot of big games were lost. With that being said, a lot of big games were lost. And if you lose to your rivals consistently, even if that's a couple years in a row, your seat's going to be a little hot. So my question is, who do you hire? Because you're going to have to make a good hire, maybe even a splash hire as far as to rejuvenate the recruiting situation with Florida State. So where do you go from here? Just a lot of questions that you still have, even though you no longer have Taggart.
Bob Stoops is like, and I agree with you. I think he should have been able to finish the season because they're like, we wanted to get a head start on the coaching search. Look, there ain't that many coaches out there that are just floating around, So they're saying the number one is Bob Stoops, who's going to coach a team in the XFL. Then it was PJ Fleck, who just signed an extension with Minnesota. And then they're talking about James Franklin from Penn State. I don't know why he would leave. Iowa State head coach, I don't remember what his name is. I'm saying this right here, right now. I want Matt Rule. We're gonna get. Now that Willie's gone, Matt Rule. This dude is the janitor. He can clean messes up. He took Temple. They sucked, and then he got into bowl games. Baylor was a mess. They're undefeated now. Bring him in. I just don't know if Matt Rule would play in the South, though. You need a guy who can play in the South. PJ Fleck ain't going to play in the South. Hey, how's it going, buddy? You want to go to Florida? That's not going to work. He's not going to go into Dade County and recruit that way. So I don't know who we're going to get that's going to match because Willie T had swag. And we had the number 13th recruiting class. And that definitely had something to do with it. Now recruits are jumping ship. They don't know who's the captain. It's a mess.
Yeah, Taggart was brought in because he was a stout recruiter. So I don't know if the guy you bring in is really going to be much better at recruiting than him. It looks more like a schematic thing defensively that really got him fired because you have some talent on the offensive side of the ball. Florida State just could never stop anyone.
Yeah, it was a mess. Speaking of another mess, I don't think it's a mess. My boy Kawhi. I guess I'm a Lakers guy this week. I think they have the better record. So it's my Lakers. Your boy Kawhi sat out against the Milwaukee Bucks. Now, some people got pissed, well, it's load management. But there's rumblings that say when he got with the Clippers, he's like, look, I'm playing 62. You either take that or leave that. And they're like, okay, we'll take it. So they know he's not going to play all these games out. I mean, is this just the new normal? Are we going to have to deal with this? Should we shorten the season to stop this?
Let me ask you one question. What channel was this game being played on that they're making such a big deal about?
Probably like TNT or something like that.
No, it was ESPN. The first reporter to come out with this message about Kawhi and him being disappointed in him not playing. I'll give you one guess on where she works.
ESPN.
Exactly. So I feel like there's a not a theme here in this show, but definitely a little colluding going on here as far as why this particular game was such a big deal. The Greek Freak versus Kawhi. This is what you get when you empower the employee, when you empower the help. They decide making decisions that are best for themselves personally versus the Shield, versus the brand, versus the NBA. So yeah, if you're that fan who saved up money to buy tickets for that game to see Greek Freak and Kawhi Leonard, you were screwed a little bit. But newsflash, if you're not a wealthy motherfucker in this world, you get screwed sometimes. So it's not the first time that these people have been screwed in their lives. And unfortunately, it's not going to be the last. So be happy that you got to see the Greek Freak. Be happy that you got to see professional basketball at a high level. And I hope the next time you save your pennies together that Kawhi decides to play. I don't feel like there's going to be much change unless the NBA gets involved. Like, hey, we're going to start telling you what to do as a person and your injuries and as an organization. And Adam Silver's not that type of commissioner. At least so far, he hasn't proven to be. So is he going to ruffle some feathers with new networks who pay billions of dollars for these games? Yeah, but no one gives a shit about the customer or about the fan who went to see the certain player play until they don't play on a certain network's primetime game and they can make it a story. But newsflash, it happens all the time when any random player decides to sit out.
Email the show, thesportsavageshow@gmail.com. You can tweet me, Instagram me, @Garrett W. Savage. A few of you have. That's cool. I mean, what do we got to do to get an email, Sammie? What do we got to do? Who do we got to blow? Who do we got to pay? I don't understand. It's an email or a comment. Just leave a comment in the video. Oh, you guys should talk about blank.
I don't know, bro. I'm thinking explicit is you fucking nudity. I don't know, bro. We got to get some naked women in here and just cuss fucking more. What the fuck do you want? Naked guys? That'll be a little fucking awkward, but we'll do it for the views. We're fucking view whores. So what the fuck do you guys want other than this amazing sports talk? Let us know.
Yeah. Like the show, comment the show, subscribe to the show. Gives us a little I sent Sammie our little monthly recap, and it's looking good. Most of those views aren't the show, but hey, you know what? Views are views, baby.
Exactly. Fucking watch the fucking show and everything else we post. All the way to the top.
Got it. All right. Well, that's it. We're out of here.
Peace.
Bye.
Not a crook.